Welcome to The Feast Life, where we empower you, the modern homeschool mom, to create a life and homeschool you love. One founded on faith, family, freedom, and fun. I'm your host, Julie Ross, creator of the award-winning homeschool curriculum, A Gentle Feast, and a certified Christian life coach. For more information on today's episode and to access my free gift for you, check out thefeastlife.me. Charlotte Mason once said, "Life should be all living, not a mere tedious passing of time." So on this show, we seek to savor the feast of life. Girl, grab your favorite beverage and pull up a chair. You are welcome at this table. Life. I'm your host, Julie Ross, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about the gift of giving yourself a morning routine. What? Why do I need to give myself a gift of a morning routine? Well, it is a gift in so many ways. Carving out those few minutes to yourself before you start your day, it is a gift. It is so important to nourish yourself that way. I used to wake up for our homeschool days not in a very good mood, let's put it that way, because I usually was woken up to the sound of like my children fighting downstairs or them making a whole bunch of noise, and I'd just drag myself out of bed, half asleep in my bathrobe, and I'd come downstairs and why is everybody fighting and why aren't you guys quiet and blah, blah, blah. Needless to say, it wasn't a really good way to start the day for anyone. It didn't put any of us in a good mood. And I realized that in order for me to show up as the kind of mom that I wanted to, I needed to wake up in the mornings before my children and do certain practices that were going to set me up for success in my day. I'm going to be teaching some of you those today. So why do we even need a morning routine? I mean, it might seem like this is just really simple here, people. But a morning routine is so key because it has such a profound impact on your day. Establishing a set of activities to start your day sets the tone for the entire day. It really does. It also influences your productivity, it changes your mood, and it can increase your overall well-being. So here are some reasons why a morning routine is more than just a series of tasks. It is the cornerstone for a successful and balanced life and homeschool. So first of all, having a morning routine increases your productivity and focus. So having a structured morning routine sets your tone for the day. It helps in priming your mind for productivity and focus. Instead of just waking up whenever you get woken up in the day, having no routine and structure and just glowing with the flow or putting out fires all morning, having a structured routine, even if it's just for a few minutes, helps you feel so productive. And that productive feeling will carry you through the rest of the day. By starting your day with predetermined tasks eliminates the need for you to make decisions early in the morning, which, can I get an amen, is really hard to do, especially before your coffee. So we don't want to have to make a bunch of decisions early in the morning. Having a routine where we're doing kind of the same things makes it habitual, which means it takes less mental effort to do those morning tasks, and that gives us more mental energy for more complex things later in the day. Another reason a morning routine is so important is it cultivates consistency and discipline. Adhering to a morning routine does require discipline, though, and over time this discipline becomes part of your character. Charlotte Mason said, "Sow an act, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny." It's these little things that we do on a daily basis that over time add up to who we become. So by being disciplined in the morning with these few little things helps us become more disciplined with other things in our lives, which helps build our character, which is ultimately going to change our destiny. It really is ultimately going to change the results that we see in all areas of our lives. I love that quote from Charlotte Mason. It's so good. So this consistency is then reflected again in all aspects of our lives. When you begin your day with a consistent set of habits, it fosters a sense of reliability and stability, crucial for tackling life's unpredicted challenges, because things are going to come up, right? But when we're used to keeping our word to ourselves and having this discipline of habits, it will help us overcome those larger obstacles. Another reason a morning routine is so key is because it improves your mental health. Waking up at whatever hour I might have randomly woken up to my kids fighting and me being in a bad mood did not improve my mental health at all. I realized we're either doing things that are improving our mental health, or we're naturally doing things that are going to take us down a different road. Our natural sinful man can just go down this road that we don't want to. And so I had to be intentional about fostering good habits and feeding my mind, body, and soul with what it needed. And a morning routine is just a really simple way to do this. We can tend to make this really complicated, and I'm going to talk about that. But really, it can be very basic activities like prayer, journaling, having a gratitude practice, moving your body, eating or drinking something that's really nourishing, just sets your positive mindset for the day. This can lower your stress levels, reduce your anxiety, and improve your overall sense of well-being in just a few minutes right at the start of your day. It's too amazing. All right, having a morning routine also encourages healthier choices. So by incorporating healthy habits first thing in the morning, like a nutritious breakfast or exercise or hydration or feeding your mind, it's going to encourage you to keep making healthier habits throughout your day. A morning workout, for instance, not only energizes you, but also motivates you to make healthier eating and lifestyle choices throughout the rest of your day. And then a morning routine also enhances your time management. So with a morning routine, you're essentially scheduling a part of your day. This habit of planning and sticking to a schedule can spill over into other areas of your life and help you be more productive with your time throughout the rest of your day. I hear from people when I teach them my time management tips and strategies. Well, what if I set a block on my calendar to do XYZ, but when it gets to be time to fill in the blank, run errands, book appointments, clean the bathroom, I don't feel like doing it. Of course, right? Most of us don't feel like doing the things that we have to do in life at all. But we need to learn to build that discipline in when it's time for something. That is the thing that we do, and it feels good to get that thing done. By having a morning routine, you are framing your mind to get used to, okay, this is the schedule, this is what I do, and you build that habit and that consistency, and that will help you keep those promises to yourself at other times of the day and in other ways of your life as well. So, why do you need to have a morning routine? Well, your family needs you to show up as your most nourishing self. I truly believe having a strong morning routine is one of the best ways to prepare yourself for the day, okay? Someone doesn't roll out of bed, put their slippers and their bathrobe on, and go run a marathon, do they? Maybe somewhere, but they probably wouldn't do very well, right? If you are preparing for some kind of sporting event, right? You are going to train. You're going to, all my runner friends, they carb load the night before. They're going to have their clothes laid out. In the morning, they put their clothes on. They have a special race day breakfast. They have their race day playlist going to prepare their mind for the thing that they're going to do. Same thing with homeschooling, people. This is not easy. We need to prepare ourselves for the race that we are running every day. And a morning routine does that. That's why it's so beautiful. In just a few minutes, I promise, it does not have to be long and complicated. In just a few minutes, you can really prepare yourself and make sure that you are ready for what is coming in the day. In order for you to show up as your most nourishing self, I encourage you to consider giving yourself the gift of a morning routine. Just a few minutes every morning for yourself. So that might mean that you need to start waking up a few minutes earlier than you currently are waking up, or even just having a set wake up time. Okay, if you have little tiny babies that you're waking up and feeding in the middle of the night, I am not talking to you. You can finish listening to this podcast and just save it for another day, but I am not talking to you. Okay? That is a whole different season, and it doesn't last forever. But some of you, your children are older. They might wake up every now and then, and you can't always control that. You get to be my age, and you start having hormonal problems that keep you up in the middle of the night. So you can't say, I'll start a morning routine when I have the perfect night's sleep, okay? You just need to start it. But it might mean that you need to wake up 15 to 30 minutes earlier than what you're currently waking up now if you're waking up at a time that all your kids wake up. It also might mean, in order for you to still get the right amount of sleep, I'm not talking about depriving yourself of any sleep, you might need to go to bed 15 to 30 minutes earlier. A great morning routine really does start the night before. So if you need to start waking up a little bit earlier, look at when you go to bed and start giving yourself a set bedtime. I am in bed, lights out, eyes shut, almost every night by 10 o'clock. In order for me to do that, I have to start getting ready for bed around 9. I have my little night routine too, and we'll talk about that maybe on another episode. But in order for me to do that, I can't have my phone right next to my bed sometimes because I'll sit there and scroll on Instagram or I'll do other stuff. So I have to put it in a different room. Whatever it is that is going to help you get that consistent bedtime, and then look at your schedule and start waking up earlier. So 15, and then if you want to make it 30 and a little bit later on, that's wonderful. For some of you, that might mean that you have to start training your kids to stay in their rooms a little longer. I had a season where my kids were really, really early risers. We're talking like 6 a.m. And that left me no time, like I was saying, to actually get up before them. I did not want to get up at 5:30, okay? So in order for me to have a gift of a morning routine for myself, I had to train them to stay in their rooms. They were all like preschool and above at this age, and I got them all little digital clocks, and I taught them how to read. When the clock says 7:00, you may come out of your room. And again, like any habit training, that it required consistency on my part. Nope, it's not 7:00, is it? Okay, let's go back in here. But I'm so glad I trained them in that, because that allowed me to have some valuable time to myself in the mornings. And again, seasons come and seasons go. Now I have all teenagers, and usually I am dragging them out of bed like they are in the night of the living dead every morning because they do not want to get up. So it doesn't last forever. I could have a morning routine go on and on and on, but now I actually have to wake them up. So it's always different seasons, but look at the season that you're in. And how can you give yourself this gift of time in the morning? I really would encourage you to have 30 minutes if you can do that, but it might mean you have to start with 15 and work up to that. Today's episode is brought to you by A Gentle Feast. A Gentle Feast offers a complete living books curriculum, an award-winning early reading program, and more tools to equip you to apply Charlotte Mason's timeless philosophy into your modern homeschool. Go to agentlefeast.com to check it out. Smooth and easy days are closer than you think. So what do I include in my morning routine? So I'm just going to share what I do. Again, this is not prescriptive. This is just informative in case this might be something that would spur some ideas in you that would fit with you and your lifestyle. Again, it's a morning routine, not a morning prison. It doesn't mean you have to do these things. You have to do them in this order. You have to do it for this amount of time. Okay, sometimes we make it so complicated. Okay, I have to go to the gym for an hour, and then I have to come home and I have to shower, and then I have to make myself this organic smoothie breakfast thing, and, no. If something is hard, we're not going to do it. So any routine that you want to establish in your life, any new habit, always encourage people, start small, make it easy. So if you want to have a morning routine, put the things that you need for your morning routine out the night before. If you're going to get up and go for a walk, put your walking shoes right next to your bed so you trip over them in the morning. Put your Bible in your journal right next to your coffee pot so while your coffee's brewing, you can start working on those things. We don't want to have to go hunting around the house for those things every morning. You're wasting precious time, okay? So make it easy. The easier it is, the more likely you will stay consistent with doing it. First, think through, when am I going to wake up? Set a wake up time for yourself. Like I said, that might mean you have to go to bed earlier. It might mean you have to habit train your kids to stay in the room so you can have this time for yourself. But just decide on a time. This is when I'm going to start waking up. Set an alarm For that, it might mean you have to, if you use your phone for your alarm, put it in the bathroom. So you'd have to actually get out of bed to turn the alarm off. Or if you wake up in the morning and start scrolling on your phone, keeping your phone in the bathroom might be a good idea as well, because it keeps you from doing that. So there might be a habit that you're currently doing in the mornings that you actually need to stop doing. So think through that as well. Is there anything in the mornings that you are currently doing that is not a productive use of your time that you need to stop doing? If you're laying in bed hitting the snooze button 5 times, if you're laying in bed thinking and worrying about the day before you drag yourself out of bed, all of those are just time wasters. And so those would be some things that you would need to stop doing. So first of all, think through, when are you going to wake up? Second of all, think through what are some things you might need to stop doing in order to establish a morning routine. And then think about what habits do you want to include in your morning routine to set yourself up for a successful day. So I do 3 things in the morning. Again, keep it simple. And each of these 3 things is about 10 minutes long. So I call it my Powerhouse 30. So in 30 minutes, I can do these 3 things. If I do these 3 things, I'm going to set myself up for an amazingly successful day. So the first thing is to move your body. When I wake up and I start moving, it sends all those happy chemicals to your brain. It gives you energy. So even if I didn't have a really good night's sleep, which actually has been happening a lot more lately, just moving my body for 10 minutes really does wake me up. And that's really helpful. Sometimes I will go outside and do it. I have a little gym set up in my garage. Some days if I'm really sleepy, I'll just roll onto the floor and just stretch for 10 minutes. But moving your body for 10 minutes really will energize you. In the show notes, I'm going to include some YouTube channels that have 10 to 15 minute little workouts. So sometimes I'll do a dance workout, sometimes I'll stretch, sometimes I'll lift like light weights in the mornings. Again, this is not like your main workout. If you're one of those people that love to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to the gym for an hour, that is fantastic. Okay, I'm not talking to you. These are for the people that really don't move at all in the mornings, and so they just need a little bit. So this helps me. I do bigger workouts later on, but just having those 10 minutes makes it seem so less intimidating than having to go to the gym and take a shower and get in the car and do all this stuff that's just going to take really way too long. So if you're just getting started, just 10 minutes of moving your body will bring you so much energy and enthusiasm and motivation for your day. Okay, so after I move my body for 10 minutes, then I feed my mind for 10 minutes. So this might be reading my Bible, reading some other kind of book. It might mean listening to a podcast. Sometimes I can multitask, right? And make breakfast while I'm listening to the Bible or listening to a podcast. So you can figure out what works best for you, but just be intentional about having 10 minutes where you are feeding your mind, because we want to have that nourishment in our minds so that we can pour that out for our families. And in the last 10 minutes, I feed my soul. So I will pray, I will do a gratitude practice, and I have some journaling questions that help me get in the right frame of mind to have a successful day. So if you go in the show notes, if you go in the show notes at thefeastlife.me for this episode, I have 2 printouts. You'll get my Powerhouse 30, where I have a sheet that explains this a little bit more. And then you'll get my set of journaling prompts to help you prepare your mind for the day. So I ask myself things like, what am I most excited about for today? How do I want to show up today? What good will I do today? That's a question Ben Franklin asked himself in the mornings. And so our brains naturally in the morning can go to all the things that are wrong. It can go to all the things that we have been worrying about and bring all those memories back to us. And I don't know about you, but sometimes in the morning, I'm not the most happy, positive person. Even after my coffee and my exercise, I can be a little And so intentionally setting my mindset to focus on what's good, to focus on the outcomes that I want to have in my day is super, super important. So I'll include those journal prompts in the show notes so that you can check those out. So you're going to set a wake time. You're going to think through what are some habits you might need to stop doing in order to have a successful morning routine. You're going to think through what are you going to include in those 30 minutes. And again, this could be different for you. The Powerhouse 30 makes it so simple for me, like 10, 10, 10. Nourish my body, nourish my mind, nourish my soul. 3 things, super easy. If you are doing some other things, write those down. But ask yourself this question: how can I make this easy? Our brains don't like to do things that are hard and difficult. So we want to establish a new habit. We have to make it easy. Like I said, putting out your gym clothes, getting your Bible in your journal and things like that all in one place so you don't have to find it every day. Some people even have a little morning basket for you as a mom, I've seen, which is a super great idea. Okay? So we want to make this super, super easy. Here's the thing about building a new habit, y'all. You don't have to do it every day for it to be successful, for it to change the neural pathways in your brain. If there are days where you have your morning routine and then something goes wrong and you don't get to it, it's not the end of the world. What is the end of the world is when you say, oh, well, I missed 2 days, so I guess this isn't going to work, and I guess I'm never consistent, and I can never stay with anything, and you give up. Well, yeah, then you're never going to change. It's better to go, okay, well, yeah, I didn't do it today, but I'm starting back tomorrow morning. One of the things I love about having a routine and not like a prison, like I was saying, is it's a routine. So if something happens, and let's say I did have a super crazy night and I did not wake up when my alarm went off, I can still do those 3 things: nourish my body, nourish my mind, nourish my soul. It might not be 10 to 15 minutes each like I would normally do, but I could do it for a few minutes, right? And I can go, okay, I didn't get time to like really move my body. I'm just going to stretch for like 2 minutes right now, but I'm going to make sure like I add in like an extra walk here and in a little bit, maybe a little bit later this morning if I can fit that in. I'd be intentional about trying to still get those things in my day, but if they didn't happen right then in the morning, let's say, you have a little one and they wake up and they have a fever and you have to go to the doctor, like things happen, right? But having a routine helps you be intentional about figuring out how to incorporate those practices, even if the schedule doesn't always go the way you want it to. A morning routine is so powerful because once you get used to this practice of keeping your promise to yourself, planning ahead of time what you're going to do, scheduling out your day, being productive and focused, even if it's just for those 30 minutes, those habits are going to carry over into everything else that you're doing. So sometimes we feel like we need to like totally revamp our whole entire lives, and that is not true. Start small, okay? Research has shown the power of what they call compounding habits. When you build one habit, it helps you build the next habit. But focus on getting one habit down. And I think a morning routine is so easy because it really is the first thing before your brain has time to think of something else or other people have different expectations for your time, to just go, no, this is the 30 minutes for myself. This is a gift I'm giving myself. If you need help with this, go to thefeastlife.me, get the show notes for this episode. But please, I also encourage you to sign up for the Confident Homeschool Mom. This is a coaching program that I do where I combine my life coaching training and my experience as a homeschool mom to help you get better structure to your days. And we really work on the mindset and the thinking that needs to happen in order for change to be possible. So if you go to thefeastlife.me/join, you can get on the wait list for that course that will be coming out in the middle of January. I know this is kind of a crazy time of year. If you're listening to this episode right when it releases, it's right before the holidays, and you're like, Julie, I don't have time for a morning routine. Life is like wild. We're traveling, all this stuff. It's okay. Work on that in the new year. Make that one of your New Year's goals. But I would encourage you, especially when life is super stressful, I feel like this is when you need your morning routine more than anything else. Even if you just focus on, for 10 minutes each day, you're going to move your body, feed your mind, nourish your soul, and you do it sporadically throughout the times when you're traveling or you're with company or your schedule's all out of whack. Just being intentional that I'm going to make these 3 practices a non-negotiable for me in my day will be so nourishing for you and feed you for all the stress and demands that are on your time during this busy season. You can wait till January if you want to incorporate this and make this one of your New Year's goals. But I would encourage you to look through your day and just be intentional about spending time to take care of yourself during this busy holiday season as well. So thank you, everyone. I hope that was so helpful, and I hope this has given you some really practical tips that is going to help you give yourself the gift of having a morning routine. Thanks everyone for listening, and remember, life's a feast. Let's savor it. Hey, I just wanted to pop in here and thank you for listening to today's episode. I have a very special announcement. In January, I'm going to be launching a new course, The Confident Homeschool Mom, and I would love for you to join me. If you would like to get on the waitlist for this course, you can go to thefeastlife.me/join, and then you'll get all the information about the course when it's released and be able to get an early bird discount. So once again, that's thefeastlife.me/join. I can't wait to start this in January, and I hope that you'll be able to join me.